In this video, we are continuing to show off some of the features and functionality of S3 Fox Organizer. This time around, you're going to learn how to create your Amazon S3 buckets using S3 Fox. You will also learn how to add folders and files to your newly created buckets, as well as granting permissions for the whole world to see, access, and download your files, if you so choose. Now we've got our S3 Firefox installed. It's set up with our Amazon AWS S3 account. So now what? Well, before we can start throwing stuff into our S3 account, we have to have what they call buckets or containers. Look at them like maybe they're folders or directories. They aren't, but look at them kind of like that if you need to kind of wrap your head around what the heck is a bucket. So it's a container, something that holds your files. So how do you do that? Well, this again is the remote section of our panes. This is the S3 account, and we are in the root directory, thus the // and there ain't nothing in there right now. It's all empty. So, and this is the on the left hand side, the local or the computer, my computer, and you can browse here for any of the files on the computer. It'll come up here with a tree or a drop down screen of all the goodies on the computer, and you can refresh. You can go up a directory or files, and here's where you can create additional files. Over here is where you can create, folders. And over here you use this to create buckets. So if you just left click on that, this comes up. Now these, like most anything else in life that's worthwhile, you're going to have rules. These are the rules to create your buckets. You got to follow these rules, otherwise you're going to encounter a little bit of an annoying error message. It ain't no big thing. It's just that it's going to come up saying you can't do what you're trying to do. And one thing to keep in mind is that these bucket names are globally unique, kind of like that of a domain name. Snowflake, fingerprint kind of thing, it's a one of a kind deal. So if somebody else in the S3 service, that being one of the gazillion other people in the world that have an Amazon S3 account, if one of them have already created a bucket name or exactly to the one that you are attempting to make, it's not going to let you. Again, one of a kind. Think snowflake, okay, or fingerprints. So if we try to create a bucket here, like say mydomain.com, chances are pretty good that somebody else has already done this. We're going to find out. And of course, you got all these other rules you want to follow along with too. For example, the folder name cannot contain / or /. And if you attempt it, the world will not come to an end. It's just that they will be automatically removed. Bucket names can only contain lowercase letters, numbers, periods, and dashes. Bucket names must start with a number or letter. Okay, we got that covered so far. Bucket names must be between 3 and 255 characters long, but they suggest that they be somewhere between 3 and 63 characters long, but you got as much as 255 to play with. Bucket names cannot be in an IP address style, and if you don't know what that is, well, this is what an IP address looks like. You just can't create a bucket name that looks like that. Bucket names should not contain underscores. Now, should is the operative word here because I've seen them where they do contain underscores, but you might encounter a glitch or a problem down the line, so don't push the envelope. Just don't put an underscore in there. And bucket names should not end with a dash. Again, I've seen where it has happened before, but you don't want to do it. Okay, just do what they say. Dashes cannot appear next to periods. For example, my dash period bucket.com and my period dash bucket are both invalid. So don't even do that. Anyway, we don't cross any rules there, so we're all fine and dandy, provided, of course, this name has not been taken by somebody else throughout the world. Click on OK, and there is our bucket. So, my bad. I was trying to get one that would show up as a one that has already been taken, so I can show you that error message. Let's try this again, shall we? I guess I should be trying this before I create the video. Okay, this one here I'm pretty sure has already been taken. I know I would have taken it. And okay, this is the error message. Not big and bright, bold, but you get the idea. The requested bucket name is not available. The bucket namespace is shared by all users of the system, that being Amazon S3. Please select a different name and try again. There you go. Now we've got our bucket. Now this is again a container, and it looks like a folder for a reason because, well, it contains things just like a folder does. And as you can see down here, this current task, this says that we're trying to create a bucket. Well, we done did, and we We're successful in one aspect, but failed in another. So we can just click on that, get it out of there. Okay, and clear that. So now we're back to square one. Now inside of this bucket, we can add our folders, our files. We can create additional folders. Now I want to show you, we just double click on that to open it up. Now the folder names, and inside of here you click on this to create a bucket / directory / folder. Now then, as you can see, the names or the rules do not come up here except for this one here. Folder names cannot contain a / or / because if you try it, well, then they will automatically be removed. But any of those other rules don't apply here. These are not globally unique, so somebody else in the world could have the same exact folder name that you do. Again, these are things that are contained within that bucket. So let's go ahead and try test just to show you. There's our folder name, because again, it's inside of this bucket. The bucket globally unique folder, not so much. So now inside of test, you can go ahead and throw this file in there. Now to move files in here, a couple of ways. You can just click, hold, and drag, or you select it and hit the arrow, which if you hover over it, it says upload. Then you click on that arrow. You got a few choices here. You can just directly upload it. You can upload it and set custom headers, or you can upload, add this transfer to a synchronized folders list. And we'll cover that here in just a bit. But we're just going to upload it. And down here it shows you what's taking place. Big green check mark, it's done. There it is. Now, currently in its current state, this file, PDF, is only available to the owner of this bucket. Anybody else in the world that tries to gain access to this is not going to get access to it because they have not had the appropriate permissions set. How do you set permissions? Well, there's a couple of ways. One, you can select the file in question and then come on over here to the pencil and paper looking thing. It says Edit ACL. Or you can right click on that and then left click on Edit ACL. This is what will take place in either case. Now here's a list of the users assigned to this account. Now what you can do is if you want just anybody, Tom, Dick, and Harry, to get access to this, then you can just click on this, everyone. If you want authenticated users, which basically is other S3 account holders throughout the world to have access to this, then you can click on this. And we'll cover that in greater detail here in just a bit. But for the time being, let's just go with every Tom, Dick, and Harry. So we click on that, gives us a green check mark. Now, if there are other folders or files inside of this, of course, it's just a file, so there wouldn't be. But you can check on this box here, and that would apply whatever you're doing up here to all the subfolders underneath that. I would suggest not using that. Go ahead and get in the habit of having a file accessible, not folders. Because if you start supplying permissions to folders and you forget sometime down the line, that folder, every content, every file within that folder is accessible to whoever you applied those permissions for. And you may not want that. You may just want individual files. So again, don't get in the habit of that unless you really know what you're doing. So anyway, I mean, the world won't come to an end like I said earlier, but again, it's just a security measure you want to be aware of. So now let me click on OK, and now then we generate this URL by right clicking. Come on down here and get copy URL to clipboard, just left click. And now then we can go to a text document and move this text document in here, right click and left click on paste. There is the URL to our document. Now you can provide anybody in the world with this URL and they will be able to pull up this file through their browser. Whether it's a .zip file, .mov, or a video file, anybody and everybody with the permissions that you just provided can have access to this particular item. And that is how you create a bucket, transfer files into that bucket, assign permissions, and also create folders. Now if you wanted to move back into the bucket, you can just click on this arrow. This again will move you back up towards the beginning of that directory or bucket. And here we are. And that is it. That's how you create buckets. Thank you very much for watching this video. You have a great day.